baby. We gotta win this one.
Out the jump, let's go. Let's go, man, let's go. Here we go.
It's about to be a lit day today.
Hey, let's get back to our swagger, come on.
All of them get the dough down. They get the dough down.
Okay, meet at the quarterback. Welcome to another edition of the Audible presented by 3M. My name is Gabe Henderson. I'm alongside Tatum, Everett. And today we have the special privilege of being joined by, in my opinion, two future Gold Jacket Hall of Famers. Mr. Harrison Smith, Mr. Patrick Peterson. Fellas, thank you for joining us today. I guess first things first, we just got a win in London. Did it take longer for your body to get adjusted there or get adjusted back being here in the States?
I probably say there. When we got back Saturday, Monday morning, I'm talking about Saturdays. I might still be in London right now.
Sure.
But when we got back Monday morning, pretty much slept up until it was time to come and get our lift in. And after that, I felt pretty normal for the most part.
Yeah, I feel good now. That first day in London was like kind of you gotta just ride that one out. And we were good after that.
You had the opportunity to, practice on the golf course too at the hotel, right? I guess anybody getting any swings in?
No, they had like this pretty cool hitting bay, but I didn't have the proper equipment. Didn't have the cleats, didn't have my own clubs. I'm a guy, I like to play with my sticks.
Gotcha.
Did they have a simulator?
They did.
Yeah.
They didn't have any lefty sticks in there though.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You got to just start packing sticks with you.
Nobody.
We had talked about it. But,
We did. But the time wasn't
carry on
enough
only.
time.
It is what it is. Well, we on the Audible, we like to start things off with the icebreaker. So every show we do this thing called Two Truths and a Lie. So I'm sure you guys have played it. Yep. So P2, we're going to start with you. You're going to flip your card over. Okay. Harrison, it's up to you to figure out which two sentences are true and which one is a lie, all right?
Okay.
All right.
So read it out to our radio audience, P.
I made the Pro Bowl the first 8 years of my career. That's A. So do I just go A, B?
Yeah, A, B,
okay.
C. Yep.
That's A. B, I was a Heisman finalist during my final year at LSU.
C.
I formally changed my name from Johnson to Peterson after arriving to LSU. There's two truth and one lie. Which one is it?
Man, I feel like all of those are true. But was B the Heisman one? I feel like you were on the Heisman though.
Which were you saying that's true or that's a lie?
The first one's true. That 8 Pro Bowls is true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the name is true too.
Yep. So B is
that
what?
has to be a lie.
All right, there you go.
I like the process of elimination.
I still feel like B should be true though.
Should have been. I remember the Heisman pose though against West Virginia that year.
But that has to be a lot of pressure though, right? Like coming out of high school, going to college, living up to expectations and then doing it in the league. What's the toughest part of living up to those expectations?
People think I'm crazy all the time when I say this. Like I've seen myself in the position that I'm in already. So it's almost like a movie. So it's like I've dreamed this part of my life already. I'm just going along with the flow. So guys they'll tell you like I'm never too high, never too low, just even kill. And that's what makes me who I am, I guess.
So the Vikings, you dreamed of being with the Vikings?
I dreamt of being in the NFL. I dreamt of winning a Super Bowl. That's, got to be somewhere in the future. And I always dreamt being around great guys, having a positive impact on people's lives. And thus far, throughout my life, I've been able to do that.
That's awesome.
I know the other question on there was, I didn't know that you had formally changed your last name.
Yes. I was Johnson. My mom and my dad, they was in high school when they had me, so they were 17 and 19. And where my mom comes from, if you're not married, you're getting the mother's last name, and my mom's last name was Johnson. Then my parents ended up getting married when my senior year in high school. So with me being the player that I was in high school, they would have thought that I was cheating the game, changing birth certificates and all that stuff. So my dad just made a family decision, was saying, we'll just change your name once we get to LSU. It'd be just a clean slate. And it was much easier, and went into LSU as Peterson instead of Johnson.
Man, could have been PJ, but now you P2. Yep. Harrison, it's on you. Your turn. Flip the card over. You got to figure out which one's true and which one is a lie.
I played linebacker the first 2 years of my college career at Notre Dame.
That's true.
I recently welcomed my newborn daughter, Eleanor James Smith, this past summer.
That's true. So this has to be the lie.
I won the state championship in the 100-meter race in track and field in high school.
That's false.
How you know?
I don't know, but I know the first two are true for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Process of elimination.
Yeah.
I do like how your brains operated like that, though. You guys were like, these are the facts. This is how I see things.
Right.
It's black and white, and that's it. I mean, that was really nice.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's how you approach, and I'm going to make this horrible segue, the game itself, right? Like you seem like you kind of think very similarly.
Yeah, I think we do, which is, I don't know if it came with, the amount of football that we played, with the guys that we played with previously in our career, just even from day one, it was just like, it was like a perfect marriage, man. It wasn't much that we needed to talk about. He saw things I saw the same way, and it just made him and I communication a lot easier. Our first year around at it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many times on the field where like I see you guys look at each other and like one of you two make each other right and then dap each other up. Like, do you have an example of like a moment where you just made each other right?
We just had one Sunday.
I was dead wrong and he made me right.
Which play was it?
We can't reveal it though.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, well,
You're right.
let's go to last year. Was there a play last year that you could like share to the audience that you were like, okay, I made him right or he made me right?
I'm sure there was.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't think of any last year. I know it's been a couple in the run game to where I'm reading off him. But yeah, it's just a feel thing.
Okay.
Yep.
And a lot of it's like, sometimes it's like pre-snap. It's like, if he does this,
Yeah.
I'll do this, you do that. And it's like, it's just kind of real quick. Just like, all right.
And I think that's what makes the game slower for us, because once we see a certain formation, we're like, all right, be on alert for this, or they might be running this route, and then once the ball is snapped, now that's when we're able to play much slower. And then when they do give us what we're alert for, that's how it makes it easy for us to fall into position.
Continuing with this similarity situation we got going on, 30 career interceptions, 29 career interceptions, right neck and neck. But I think heading into the Bears game last season, so the finale, you hadn't had an interception yet. You've had one every single season until this past one, which you were able to cash in on.
Yep.
Were you thinking about that at all when you
No
were
doubt about it, I was.
Yeah.
Because, as a DB, you always want to have an opportunity to intercept, and quarterback on any given Sunday. And, I wasn't getting many opportunities, got the hamstring injury. Then early on in the year, wasn't getting many targets, just had to make the best of the targets that was coming my way. But for the most part, just had to stick with it.
Shotgun, play action, straight drop. He's been sacked all day, just throws it up, and it is intercepted. Patrick Peterson's first interception wearing purple. He's to the 40, he's to the 30, and he is gone. A 67-yard pick six by Patrick Peterson.
I just knew it was going to come. I even told Harry before we went out there, I told him the celebration, what I'm going to do. I said, I'm getting a pick six this game by any means necessary.
He said pick six, and he hadn't said that the whole year. He didn't say pick.
So you knew. When you know,
He
you know.
actually had us practice the celebration.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he kind of forgot it after
I
we
did.
scored.
He reeled me back in.
Like, as it was happening, I was like, wow, like he really he called this.
What was the celebration?
It was me.
Okay.
I was telling him, I was like, I want to come back here. I'm gonna get a pick six. I'm gonna go in the middle of the stadium. I'm gonna shake your hand. I'm gonna act like I'm signing a contract, and I'm back here.
I like that.
All right. What are some of the traits that makes a player a ball hawk? Like somebody that's always around the ball. There's almost 60 interceptions between the two of you guys.
I think we kind of talked about this on your podcast. Like, interceptions don't always tell the whole story. And I think, in general, if you're talking about most of his career kind of being a man corner,
Right.
I think his number of interceptions is more impressive than my number of interceptions as a safety, where I get to have a little more vision and be a little freer to chase the ball, where he's following a man and then getting his eyes back at the last second. So that's a little tougher to actually catch the ball in that scenario, because that ball is not coming to you.
Yeah. Right.
Where I have a little bit of an advantage in that regard, just because I get to look. So, numbers don't always tell the whole story, but I think being a ball hawk, you can do it different ways. Like, it's always about just how you line up, if you can recognize anything pre-snap, and like we've talked about, like slowing things down, eliminating things that aren't going to happen, and then I could get this, or this, and then going from there.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you know this, but Harrison's first interception was against the Cardinals. You were at the game.
To his left, takes the snap. Skelton, 3-step drop, steps away from the pressure, runs up the middle, fires, intercepted, and it's picked off by Harrison Smith. The rookie comes to the right side, inside the 20 to the 15, leap through the end zone, touchdown!
I don't know if you know that or not, but what do you...
We actually talked about
Did
that.
you really?
Yeah. I think, was that Christian Ponder's year?
Yeah, he was our quarterback. Y'all, it was John Skelton for you.
Yes.
That
Yes.
game.
So what year was Donovan the quarterback?
That was before my time.
Okay, so that was my rookie year then. That was my rookie year. Donovan was a quarterback. Yeah, Christian Ponder was the quarterback. Yeah, I think we got beat up pretty good too.
Yeah, I think we won by a couple scores.
Yeah.
I think 4 to be exact. Really? It was like 28-0, like within the first 2 quarters for sure.
Well, I guess one thing you guys have in common is you both, your second career pick sixes both came against the Chicago Bears. So I guess that's something that you guys both have in common. And I know, Harry, you vividly remember that one, right?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay. Like, I guess what goes on in your mind? Like, when you get a pick, what goes on in your mind? What's the first thing that happens outside of, okay, let's score?
Man, it's like this, you get like a crazy rush. That I haven't really felt doing many other things because you're not supposed to have it. Like you're not supposed to have the ball. So when you get it and you just like, you get this flush over your body and you like start running a little faster than you're used to running and you just trying to find an opening. I remember that when I caught it in the middle of the field. It was kind of like some sort of cover 3. And I had to make a guy miss, and then I hit the sideline on the right and had like a nice little caravan. So you're just trying to find your blockers in some space and just see what happens.
For me, it was a little different because I had the opportunity to play punt returner. So with me, whenever I get an opportunity to get the ball in my hands, I'm automatically thinking touchdown. You know, setting up my blocks. You know, always you want to get it in and get it out to the near sideline, whichever sideline that you on, or like I did in the Chicago game, if I have to cut it back across the field, we'll have to let that be as well. But I think with me having, you know, the return skills that I was able to showcase in college and in the early stages of my career, I just think it makes it easier for me when I do get an interception to try to take it back to the house.
Well, speaking of taking it back to the house, you got to take your kids back to the house. So
Yeah, I do.
We won't have Patrick Peterson on the second portion of the show, but Harrison Smith will stick around. P2, appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
We are back. This is the Audible presented by 3M. My name is Gabe Henderson. I'm alongside Tatum Everett. The first segment of the show, we had Patrick Peterson, and if you missed that, head on over to Vikings.com to hear that segment. But Harrison Smith is still on the show, and Harry, I appreciate you sticking around. First and foremost, last week we had Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus on the show. And I asked him, I said, who's the best trash talker on the team? And of course, the first person they said was Chris Boyd. And I was like, oh, who else talks trash? And they were like, well, Harrison Smith, he talks trash, but it's like on a different level. They say you talk trash to coaches.
That's not really true. Like, I guess I like comedy. I like making jokes and not making like light of things, but like we spend a lot of time together and we do a lot of talking and communicating. So like you got to keep it interesting. And I'm like more the coach's age is at this point than some of the younger guys. So we keep it good. Yeah.
Do you find that maybe the trash talking they don't understand it if they're younger? I mean, is it like an age thing?
No, I think it's more like when you're younger, you're just trying to figure out the plays and this and that. Where I've been around kind of long enough to where I can mix it up a little bit with some of the coaches. What makes you excited to continue to play every day, to wake up and do this for a living? To win. Even things you I might have messed up in like training camp, like I hold on to, and games obviously, and the wins you savor the individual win on a play that nobody else knows about, and you're like, that was a good rep, or the one you didn't do, but it wasn't glaring then, but it hurt somebody else, and it's like, I could have helped him there, this and that. It's such a good game because it's not just physical. There's so much mental that goes into it at this level that it's just there's so much going on. It's just so team oriented, and so many guys affect other guys. And then the physicality is a factor. Like sometimes you can just beat somebody. So it's just, there's not really a game like it.
I mean, I think I told you this before, you have more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook, probably career-wise, just from how often you run back and forth in the line of scrimmage. Like, how exhausted are you after a game just from disguising coverages? We're starting at the line of scrimmage and then running to a deep third.
Some games more than others.
Okay.
Those are, I think that's stuff I didn't think about for many years, and then I started I kept kind of watching. I was like, man, that game I was really tired. Like, why was I so tired? And it's like before the play snapped, I ran 40 yards. Like, of course I'm tired. So try to keep track of that a little bit.
Gotcha.
A lot has been made about this staff and bringing in new changes, nutrition-wise, and things to make your body healthy. How are you feeling with all of these new changes, and what's something that maybe they've brought that's really helped you this season?
I think just like steady routine. It's not just one day, they say, oh, we got this and this, and we're gonna do all this stuff. Like, that happens a lot in every business and things. You want to emphasize something, and you emphasize it for a day or two, and then it kind of gets stale and you forget about it. Where we've stayed on top of it. It's every day, all day. You need anything, come ask. If you don't need anything, we're still going to suggest some things to you. Yeah. So our whole staff and Remy and everybody has done an awesome job.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point in your career, like, being smarter about your health is more important than being physical and trying to be the biggest safety now, right? Would you agree at that point?
Yeah, and you kind of gotta know what is demanded of your body on the field. What's, a safety in a different scheme may be asked to do different things, or a linebacker or what have you. So you gotta figure out what's needed from your body and then adjust accordingly. What
have you enjoyed about, I guess, almost mentoring Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus, Lewis Seen in this process, in this particular defense so far?
Well, this defense is new to me too.
That's true.
And there's some carryover and just years of experience and stuff like that. So we're all learning it together, but there's obviously some things that I can say this happened to me 6 years ago or whatever, and
quite a memory.
Like we were talking about, I as a safety, you tend to remember some of the bad things. So I sit next to Cam and I'll be like, hey, it's 2014, like this happened. And he'll be like, how do you remember that? I'm like, because I got hurt because I missed the tackle or whatever. And so I think being able to share some of those things, I don't know if they help or not. It's fun, one thing, but I think it also gives them, maybe that's a mistake I made that they don't have to make. So it's pretty fun, and they're all such, they're like me, like they love the scheme of football and the mental side of it. And when you can talk to guys without having to draw anything, and you can all envision, okay, that was the formation, this is the situation, this is what happened. It's pretty cool.
Well, just speaking of just schemes and getting rid of bad memories, we had a bad memory week 2 this year against the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts. How much of that game, preparing for that game, can you use when preparing for a guy in Justin Fields, who similar style running quarterback that can throw the ball? Yeah,
that's obviously a game we didn't get done what we wanted to get done, and Hurts played great. He's having a great season. So yeah, we're gonna look at those things and see what we could maybe do better. Some things maybe we did a good job with that we want to carry over. So yeah, you always want to learn from your past success and mistakes.
Are there any similarities between the two, or is Justin Fields, does this game help you prepare for future games? You know what I'm saying, like with the style of quarterback?
To some degree.
Okay.
I'd say yeah. There's most of the guys nowadays have some ability to run. I think those two guys are on one extreme. So, yeah.
Love it.
No, your honesty is very refreshing. It's like when we say something or we talk about something, you're like, no, not really. I like that.
It's like, okay, cool.
I'm like, you're right.
Got it.
I was
Bet.
always wondering. Thanks for answering.
Bet.
No, but in all seriousness, so when you guys, if you're going for 4-1, you're going for a 3-0 start in the division, like how much of an impact can something like a start like that do for a locker room long term?
Man, honestly, I've been on starts that weren't great, and we ended up making the playoffs, and I've been on like 5-0 starts that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the only constant is that the NFL season is a roller coaster, and keeping that even-keeled mindset, and just staying on top of if you won but you messed these things up. Focus on those things. Don't just say, oh, we won, it's cool, it'll figure itself out. Or you only care when you lose to fix things. Those things add up over time.
Gotcha. Harrison, we talked about pick sixes earlier. We talked about, just some of the history you and Patrick Peterson have together. Patrick Peterson, his touchdown celebration earlier. I got to ask this because I'm assuming you're going to get another pick six before this year is over or your career is over. What is it going to take for you to hit the gritty?
A lesson.
Huh?
A lesson from JJ.
A lesson.
Say less. That's it?
It's got to be a pretty involved lesson. Yeah.
I feel like
my bees are lacking. So, yeah, I think I would do it. I would do it in that case, and it'd have to be a big game. It wouldn't have to just be like just a regular game, I guess.
Well, Tatum, I guess the next show we should probably do it in a standing formation. Have Harrison Smith, Justin Jefferson on, both of the guys on the show. We play the music, and then they gritty for the next 2 minutes.
I mean, I could use a lesson too. Mine is not.
Thank you.
It's not pretty.
Well, you don't want the lesson from me. We just have JJ do it and have someone else sit in my spot. But Harrison, thank you for sitting in that spot today. We truly appreciate you giving your insight, your knowledge. We got another division game this week, so all of us are excited just as you are. So for Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith, Tatum Everett, my name is Gabe Henderson. Thank you guys again for tuning in to another edition of the Audible presented by 3M.